Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is November 7th, 2022, and we're going to call this meeting order at 7:31 p.m. You can call the roll, please.
Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McGlawhorn?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Navas Barza?
Here.
Trustee Peretta?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's like somebody switched them on you.
See that? We had the carpet cleaned over the weekend. Somebody switched the flags. I'm so used to turning to my right all the time, too. So I look up like, all right, where's the flag? But the carpet looks great. Roger, I'm not. Who did the carpet? Suburban Chemdry. Nice job. The carpet was shot. That really looks good. Okay. Thank you. To start our meeting tonight, we have a bid opening for the removal of carpeting up in the police station and a couple of other areas in the Village Hall. They have high traffic areas. That's going to be replaced with Elite Crete reflector enhanced flooring. This is like a non-skid floor for the police department. So go ahead.
We received 4 bids. The first one is from Tiles in Style LLC, doing business as Taza Construction, located at 16940 South Vincennes Avenue, South Holland, Illinois 60473. They do have a bid bond, and their total estimate is $79,001.50. That's 79001.50. Our second one is from Barrier Corporation, located at 7831 Nagel Avenue, Morton Grove, Illinois 60053.
I should ask too, before we get started, I know we get a lot of students in the room all the time for government class. Did everybody get an agenda tonight? You guys good? Okay, if anybody needs one, the clerk has them. You need one? Come on up. Do you have any right here?
Are those it?
Oh, they're right here.
I don't know if those are the right ones, but I saw them up
Right
here.
date, Joe? Oh, yeah, let me get you one. Oh, sorry, let me get you one real quick.
Is that the right one?
That's not the right one.
No.
That's the wrong one.
It's the wrong one.
They're wrong. You got it? Thanks, Chief.
Okay, so this one does have a bid bond. And let me just make sure that's the final. It looks like their estimate is, their base bid, I should say, $299,350. That is 299,350.00. Our third one is from Broadleaf Inc., located at 1220 Bristol Avenue, Westchester, Illinois 60154. There is not a bid bond in here. Excuse me. And their estimate is $63,200. That is 63200.00. And our final one is from American Floor Coatings, located at 25 West 111th Cape Road, Naperville, Illinois 60540. no bid bond. And their proposal amount is $49,500. That's 49500.00. And those are the only bids we received.
Okay, thank you. Again, we're taking up carpet in the common areas, and we're going to use a concrete replacement that's non-skid, supposed to look really nice. So, all right, thank you. We'll go on to our officers' reports, starting with mine. I asked our Director of Emergency Preparedness for a report from their activities from this past weekend. If everybody was familiar with 127th Street was shut down most of the weekend, and apparently what we were told was a large truck apparently made a turn at 127th and Costner. Chief, am I saying this right? He went northbound on Costner?
Correct.
Okay, and somehow whatever was sticking up on that truck hooked a major power line and took like 4 poles with them, all in the intersection over there, too. So everything came down on 127th Street. And we just graduated a class just a week or so ago, last week actually, with our CERT team. It's CERT. That's the Community Emergency Response Team. These are civilians that our former police chief, Chuck Geraci, trains on emergency and non-emergency response. And they were able to come out and help us with traffic for the whole weekend. So I'll give the clerk a copy of this, but he submitted this report today. As requested, he says that this past weekend, the fire chief contacted the CERT team members, and some were available and responded without delay. As you know, 4 electric poles were snapped, and the wires were down at 127th Street. 1 pole is located near the homes at the southwest corner of 127th and Costner. The other 3 poles were located directly in front of the new Gas and Wash gas station there. CERT personnel handled traffic and pedestrian control on the west side excuse me, of the incident near Costner, and on the east side near Tripp and Keeler. Of course, the busiest time periods were during the day. However, there was a good amount of nighttime traffic as well. The Gas and Wash truck fuel depot was used to safely turn around tractor trailers. This procedure worked out well to avoid having the trucks back down all the way from Costner all the way back to Pulaski. Many drivers wanted assistance getting to the fuel depot. Therefore, Chuck actually escorted trucks using his vehicle that the village supplies, and he escorted many trucks to ensure they stayed away from the nearby neighborhoods to compound the problem. The tractor-trailer issue was finally resolved at about 9 or 10 on Sunday morning when the police department had enough manpower to blacken off Pulaski to stop the big rigs from trying to come through. It was a huge help, a lot of traffic near the Swaparama. And finally, he just said that the incident on 127th Street finally ended at 2 p.m. on Sunday. I know this started kind of late Saturday night, kind of around 7 o'clock Saturday night. And a total of 10 CERT members assisted at various times. During that 2-day incident, Alsip CERT members logged a total of 94 and a half hours. So I want to thank Chuck and his team for taking and assisting the effort there with the police and fire department. Good job, Chuck. And again, the CERT volunteers as well then too, so thank you for doing that. Next I had on here, Mike Frater, our Public Works Director. Mike, did you see this list of equipment Cook County is offering for that free equipment thing?
Yes.
We can double check it, but this stuff looks like it needs a lot of work and stuff yet too. Most of the equipment's 25 to 27 years old and stuff then too, and I don't know if it's on our, but some of the stuff doesn't even necessarily qualify, but Cook County is offering free used equipment that's 25 to 27 years old out of their yard, but some are just like graders or front end loaders. We have front end loaders already and stuff yet too. I just want to let the board be made aware that the applicant must be a municipality or a township located in suburban Cook County that perform public work activities, and must demonstrate a financial need and demonstrate operational need as well too. So we're good, right, Mike? Okay, thank you. The enterprise zone today came out with a new brochure as well too. This is the enterprise zone is a wonderful organization to help incentivize and attract new business development to our community. And Mary Schmidt, our former Chamber of Commerce Director for over 40 years, she manages this remotely. And what they do is they help rebate taxes paid on building materials for new development, as well as give a discount on permit fees and so forth then too. So they have a new brochure that came out today. We're going to get copies of that. And then finally, I got an email just late today from Worth Township Supervisor Patricia Joan Murphy. Worth Township Supervisor Patricia Joan Murphy is proud to announce that the Worth Township Senior Transportation Pilot Program has begun. Our mission is to provide affordable transportation and give seniors the ability to remain independent, healthy, and socially active. Worth Township provides curb-to-curb service to seniors ages 55 and older and adults with disabilities ages 18 plus that live within the boundaries of Worth Township. You must be registered to ride the bus. In other words, you have to call in to register with them. Passengers who are unable to get to and from the bus will require an escort. All caregivers must also be registered. This transportation is available for medical appointments and grocery shopping. The service operates Monday through Thursday from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. Last pickup is at 2:30 in the afternoon. We provide service on a first-come, first-served basis, and reservations should be made 24 hours in advance by calling 708-972-7075. The boundaries of the township are 87th Street on the north to 135th Street on the south, and Western on the east to Harlem on the west, and this does exclude Chicago. In addition to the Worth Township area, they also provide transportation to High Tech Medical Center in Palos Heights. They go to Palos Hospital and the medical offices along College Drive. The cost is $3 each way, $6 round trip, or get a $25 10-ride pass, and that'll save you $5 if you want to do that. So that's it for my reports. So I'll go what's on your agendas this evening, folks. First on your agenda is the recognition of Girl Scout Troop number 55981. And 3 of these Girl Scouts, and we want to recognize 3 of the Scouts for their efforts selling their Fall Nut Magazine fundraiser products that fund Girl Scout programs. Can I ask the 3 young ladies to come up? Megan Love, Layla Olson, and Nora Martin, if you ladies are here. Can you come on up? Thanks, girls. I'll tell you what, if you want to just stand up in front here for a minute. Audience isn't on camera. You folks are. You can always YouTube this later if you want. But go ahead, if you want to face the audience, that's fine. I just want to read to them briefly what Girl Scouts, just as a reminder who Girl Scouts are. Girl Scouts bring their dreams to life and work together to build a better world. Through programs from coast to coast, Girl Scouts of all backgrounds and abilities can be unapologetically themselves as they discover their strengths and rise to meet new challenges. Whether they want to climb to the top of a tree or to the top of their class, lace up their boots for a hike or advance for climate justice, or make their first best friends. Backed by trusted adult volunteers, mentors, and millions of alums, Girl Scouts lead the way as they find their voices and make changes that affect the issues most important to them. Their mission: Girl Scouting builds girls of courage, confidence, and character who make the world a better place. Hey, instead of me stealing your thunder here, ladies, what's the what's the Girl Scout promise? Can you guys do it for us? All right. We got a shy ones. I'll do it for you then. You know, this is on my honor. I will try to serve God and my country, to help people at all times, and to live by the Girl Scout law. The Girl Scout law is: I will do my best to be honest and fair, friendly and helpful, considerate and caring, courageous and strong, and responsible for what I say and do, and to respect myself and others and respect authority. So congratulations to all you guys. I know we've all participated in programs similar to what the Scouts do, and this is what funds their organization. So I want to give certificates to acknowledge the hard work that they put in. And I'll start with third place this year's fall contest was Nora Martin. And what it says on this certificate is Nora has been recognized by the Village of Alsip for having sold the third most fall products, totaling $819 for their Girl Scout Troop 55-981 for the 2022 season. In second place was Layla Olson. This has been, again, Layla has been recognized by the Village of Alsip for having sold the second most fall products, totaling $868.95. Great job, Layla. And first place this season was Megan Love. Megan has been recognized by the Village of Alsip for having sold the most fall products, totaling $1,503.95.
Wow.
And Megan, great job. You know,
Congratulations.
You don't want to be in the picture?
No, they don't need me in there.
Yeah, I remember I used to do that back when I was with the Scouts and so forth, and somebody has to be the popcorn colonel once in a while and stuff like
You
that.
weren't in the Girl Scouts. Get out of here.
Not the Girl Scouts, you know, but we've all done that. You know, I was in scouting when I was a kid, and I think it's a good time. And I tell you, my one credit when I was a den leader, as my son was growing up, I'll never forget going on one of these trips out to Yorkville and explaining to and teaching the parents. I love outdoor camping and all that, but reminding the parents, you always put your tent on a little bit of a hill. You don't want to be at the guy at the bottom of the hill that incurs all that monsoon that's going to fall tonight and stuff then too. And the next morning, I had a dad get up and go, "Hey man, nice call." You know, that would have been bad. And sure enough, it rained pretty good that night and stuff yet too. So, yeah, thank you for coming out, folks. Sure. And certainly, we're not offended if you guys want to stay, great. If you want to leave, that's totally fine, too. We'll finish our meeting. Yeah. Oh. Thank you very much. Sure. So we'll go on with our reports. I'm going to pull number 2 this evening that I had on there was the approval to have the attorney draft a resolution that approves the spending for the ARPA money. I wasn't totally prepared for that. Trustee Dalzell had a good point last week. I need to tweak a little bit of my plan. I'll present that at next week's meeting. So that would be letter A on your consent agendas. I'm going to be pulling that until for discussion next week. And that's all I have for this evening. We'll go to the clerk's report. Clerk Harding.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see, I have the approval of the October 17th, 2022 board meeting minutes, the presentation and approval of the October 24th, 2022 committee meeting minutes, presentation and approval of the October 24th, 2022 special board meeting minutes, approval of the September 2022 IDOT motor fuel tax allotment in the amount of $68,120.66. I passed out, this is not on the agenda, I apologize, to all the trustees and the mayor, my proposed board meeting schedule for next year. I don't want to vote on it tonight. I want you guys to see it. There are 2 dates that I want you to think about. May 30th. In May, there are 5 Mondays. Where did my May go? There are 5 Mondays. So the 30th, because of Memorial Day, would be a Tuesday. So we can either keep it on Tuesday the 30th, or because there are 5 Mondays, move it and do it May 22nd, and then just the 29th and 30th that week there would be no meeting. That would be the 5th Monday. So think about that. We can discuss it next week. And also July. The 4th of July is on a Tuesday, which means work Monday. We would have a meeting the 3rd. off the 4th, obviously because it's 4th of July. Choices would be have the meeting Monday, the 3rd, as usual, or push the meeting and do it Wednesday, the 5th. And that would be a board meeting. The May one would be a committee meeting. The July one would be a board meeting. So just think about that, and we can discuss it next week, because I know this is a board meeting, but I wanted to get it out there. And then the only other thing I wanted to bring up is I was talking with the mayor this afternoon, and he had an update. Today was the last day of early voting. And this time for early voting, as of this afternoon, we had just about 1,800 people come to the village for early voting. So I think that's a little bit higher than last time, too. So that is pretty good news. So
Yeah, they said it was a good turnout this
Yeah.
season.
And that is all I had, Mayor.
May I make a comment? Or
Sure.
In regards to the board meeting and committee meeting schedule, just wanted to plant the seed to perhaps consider Tuesday meetings, given just based on the information we have in hand right here that I'm holding. We do have major holidays that are celebrated on Mondays, so perhaps next committee meeting considering switching our Monday meetings to Tuesdays.
Okay.
But just
I will
wanted to make a
note
comment.
Bring it up.
Okay.
Aren't you folks going to miss those informational commercials that come on every 2 minutes back to back to back to back for the elections and stuff yet? too?
I can't wait for those to be
I know.
over with.
I know.
They're on my phone, too, when I
So
play
many
games.
decisions, I know. So, thank you. Next, we have the Attorney's Report. We have Joe Kankar with us. Joe?
I have no report, Your Honor.
All right, Joe. Next, we'll go to our Engineers Report. Jeff is with us. Jeff Agan.
The MFT crack sealing has been completed and closed out now. The MFT resurfacing, the majority of the work has been done. Punch lists were provided to Gallagher, the contractor, last week, and so they'll be working on knocking those out.
Jeff, did they do, I know I was pushing kind of hard on the street striping, crosswalk striping. Did they do that yet?
So I'm going to actually have my guys paint those rather than putting down thermoplastic, because we're going to be looking to redo that street next year.
Okay. I mean, are we going to get enough done with that, Mike, then, too? Okay, so our guys are going to paint. Okay.
We were able to complete all the other schools, so that will be last one.
That's, okay, great. As long as, obviously, the pavement's fresh, let's get on it as soon as we can. I know the paint wears out as fast, it wears out pretty quick and stuff then, too, but that's great. And they did a nice job. I saw some of the work around here look really good and everything, yeah, too, so. Okay. Thanks, Jeff.
Yep, end of report.
Next, we have the public forum. Did anyone in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Sir, come on up.
My name is Fred Eberhardt. I live at 3833 West 120th Place, behind the Jewel. First of all, I'd like to start out saying you guys are doing a great job so far. I'm pleased with the village, your services, everything. You've been very attentive to mine and my neighbors' needs that I'm aware of. But I have some, there's always room for improvement for some things. So my two concerns, I guess, would consider fall under zoning. Okay, and the first one is we were at the meeting here for the Sertoma home over on 120th in Hamlin.
Right.
I just wonder if there's any updates on that, because we were at a planning meeting back in September. It was quite well attended, well, I guess, by the zoning committee.
Right.
Of which I don't know if there were any trustees on that committee.
No, that's a whole separate commission.
Okay.
And Mr. Eberhardt, they, the recommendation about a week ago, they, the Plan Commission voted 5-1 in favor of, but it's just a recommending body, and so what it'll do is it'll come to us next. So as soon as I get approval from the chairperson for that committee, Mr. Graycheck, he'll let us know when all the fees are paid and so forth for like the stenographer and everybody else that was out here. We'll bring that to a committee meeting. So if you want to keep an eye on the agendas, we post them online all the time. It'll be for a committee meeting first, so in case anybody wants to have any input or make a comment on it, we'll bring it in front of committee, and then it'll go to a board meeting at a future meeting too. So it might be still this month. I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it stands right now. We got to wait till they get all their fees paid and let them be made available for our presentation.
I'm quite surprised at that, Mayor, because there was quite an outcry for the public at that meeting. I don't know if there was any input, feedback to the board, but there were quite a bit of neighbors up and down Hamlin who voiced concerns about
Right.
traffic and other things, and there was talk about, the fire commissioner also talked about the height of the building and any emergency, you know, being about 40 feet tall, the building. So that kind of surprises me that it would, it is.
From what I understand, they presented a different plan.
They did?
Yeah, because from what they heard from the group back in September, that it was a different plan. And I don't have all the specs with me, but I think it went from 3 stories to 2 stories. And I did see they backed it off the street and all that kind of thing, too. I can't speak to it. We kind of stay away, out of that. We let them do their job.
Right.
And because we want to be, obviously, not partial. We want to be able to look at that with fresh eyes
Right.
and be able to make an informed decision when it comes to it. So what Mr. Eberhardt's saying is we had a development, there is a development that Sertoma wants to build at 120th and Hamlin. And the property, just without getting into specifics, the property is like 150 wide by 464 deep. And Sertoma wants to build an apartment building basically to facilitate 25 people, 25 apartments are going to go there and stuff, so.
Right, you know, it'd be nice, I mean, everyone that was here, there was several proposals made, even to adjusting the height requirement, as well as changing the layout of the place because of the concern for children on Avers Street. Now, it would, you know, there's been no follow-up to the community members. I mean, some of it was concern over excess traffic, the stop sign, the access. I mean, is there any follow-up where the people can voice again their opinion? Because
That's what I just said, that they can come into the committee meeting if they want to, that we're going to have here.
Okay.
So it'll be on a Monday night. We meet in committee on the second and last Mondays every month. So it'll be on, if it's not up for next week, it'll be at the end of the month, maybe. Yeah, it depends on when it comes through the system to us. And again, they're going to make their personnel available too. It's more than just a paper issue, and they can have their personnel available to come. So it depends what they're scheduling. This is on them, really not on us, so they have to schedule this with us and stuff, that's all. Okay.
The second item is new to the board. Now, I've been a 30-year resident of Alsip, and I did notice time that, you know, there is some noise coming with loading and unloading off times at the Jewel, which I live behind, and, you know, obviously there's a subdivision there. There is no quiet zone, though. Now, there's a quiet zone across the street with Food for Less, where no deliveries can be made from 9 to 6. Now, I tried floating this with the building department, and they said, bring it to the board, or bring it to somebody in zoning who would address this. Because, you know, there is rattling of garbage cans with the garbage can pickups, there is Jewel truck deliveries, and I know with, you know, Jewel's business and its contribution to the community, that, you know, they would be good neighbors and, you know, abide by that. Now, whether that needs to be formally codified as a zone, quiet zone, but that would be appreciated by the neighbors if the board would consider doing the same for the residents east of Pulaski, that on the west side of Pulaski.
No, you know what, Trustee Parado, that'd be your committee with the building, building department. Do you want to get together with building commissioner? And I tell you what, Mr. Eber, if you would, because we always ask folks that speak to us just to kind of log in, if you would, can you leave us a number and we'll get back with you on that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, that's not a difficult request. We can certainly look into that.
Yes, like I said, I appreciate that. You've been more than fair in City Hall. I've had guardrail issues in the past which you've addressed. It'd be also nice if Jewel, I understand it's the property owner though, because there's been quite an uptick in business at the pool hall or the slots place, that there's quite a bit of cars that park behind the building.
Right.
And, you know, it's becoming a concern. I mean, we do see some homeless people. We see people hanging around. There is late-night gambling. So that's a concern, possibly, and I know, again, that's funded by the property owner, as
Right.
Jewel put up a fence, you know, whether that could be addressed to the property owner of the strip mall there next to Jewel.
Sure. I mean, Roger, we'll talk about it. Let's do a review of the property and make sure they're meeting all compliance and stuff then, too. Okay?
Appreciate that
Sure.
very much.
And again, property owners always still have a lot of, certainly they have an onus on them to make it a safe area. I actually just saw a nice big pothole. Looks like my wife's going to have her name on that thing pretty soon behind the Walgreens over there and stuff, you know. But yeah, there's a good one there. We need to talk to him too, Raj. I meant to call you today and talk to you about that.
Well, my concern, too, is, and I've talked to the business owner, because, I mean, obviously, keeping government out as much as we can and being good neighbors. I've talked to the property owner about their dumpster, because it is open, and there is a prairie there, and mice have,
Sure.
mice have come across. So I voiced my concern, and whenever I see it open, to now he's been kind of accommodating, but I think he's kind of on edge. I haven't brought it to the attention of the village for zone enforcement, but, things like that kind of,
Understood. No, I get it.
additional problem to the neighborhood.
And Roger's our building commissioner. He's making notes as you're talking here, too. So we'll get together with that. And give me a few days, Mr. Eberhart, and I'll give you a call back.
Appreciate it.
Okay, you too. Have a good night. Anyone else wish to talk to the board tonight? No? All right, thank you. Let's go to our standing committee reports, and we'll start with Finance and IT. Trustee McGlowan.
First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated November 4th, 2022, totaling $432,040.54. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of accounts payable dated November 7th, 2022. From the recap, General Fund, $521,357.82. Road and Bridge, $10,647.09. Storm Sewer, $162.13. MFT, $2,807.46. Pulaski TIF, $836 even. Liability and workers' comp insurance, $40,224.98. Health insurance, $161,406.20. IMRF and payroll taxes, $16,523.66. Water and sewer, $781,481.13. Sanitary sewers, $905.76. Heritage complexes, $110,511.60. Retiree health insurance, $125,780.76. For a grand total of all funds of $1,772,644.59. And that is all I have this evening, Mayor.
That was enough. Thank you. Next, we'll go to the Fire Committee report. Trustee Murphy.
I have a recognition letter of commendations to be read. Trustee Murphy, during the week of October 3rd, the Alsip Fire Department responded to 3 separate incidences in which several lieutenant and firefighters performed above and beyond the normal call of duty. This week also, this was also the week to prepare for our annual open house at Fire Station 2. For some reason, it was also a very busy week for incident responses. On Monday the 3rd, the crew responded to a total of 12 calls for the day. These calls included responding to an overturned semi-tractor trailer on the northbound ramp of Cicero Avenue from northbound I-294. Ambulance 242 and engine 2063 responded from Station 1. Ambulance 2032 and truck 2014 responded from Fire Station 2, along with Deputy Chief Richter and Chief Szynski as the chief officers. The driver of the truck was trapped inside his cab. The extradition took over an hour to complete just because of how the driver was trapped. It was a very long duration, meticulous and complicated. The extrication, because of how he was trapped inside. The entire shift worked extremely hard and diligently until the driver was freed. Because of the teamwork of the entire shift, they will be receiving a firefighting unit citation. The shift consisted of Lieutenant Rick Kraus, Lieutenant Chad Freitag, firefighters Damian McCarran, Dan Rummery, Dan Davis, Kyle Galvin, Sean McNee, and Mike Anderson. During this day, Fire Station 1 responded as auto aid to 2 structure fires in Blue Island, 1 trailer fire around 4 p.m. and a house fire at 4 a.m. The house fire reports of someone trapped upon the arrival to Blue Island house was very involved in heavy fire in the back of the house from the deck and the porches totally engulfed. Lieutenant Kraus and firefighter Galvin were assigned to enter the structure, locate the victim, and remove the victim from the fire. They found the victim, removed her, and transferred her to the ambulance on the scene. Unfortunately, the victim has passed away from her injuries at the hospital. Firefighters McCarran and Davis were assigned to deploy a second hose line for attack on the fire. Because of their actions, they were able to improve the conditions to allow Lieutenant Kraus and firefighter Galvin to make entry and locate the victim. All 4 members of Engine 2063's crew will be awarded a firefighting unit award, even though 12 calls in a 24-hour shift is uncommon. Responding to a prolonged extrication and 2 structure fires in a shift is very uncommon. On Wednesday, October 5th, our fire department was dispatched for the apartment fire on 119th Street. Responding companies included Engine 2033, Truck 2014, Ambulance 2032, Deputy Chief Richter, as well as myself, and auto aid companies from Blue Island, Crestwood, Palos Heights, Oak Lawn, and Marionette Park. Ambulance 2042 was on a previous EMS call, so 2033 responded with only Lieutenant McNeilis as well as firefighter Talaski, excuse me. As they arrived on the scene at the same time I did, we found heavy smoke coming from the 2nd floor and several people on the third floor balcony who couldn't evacuate because of the smoke conditions in both stairways of the building. As Lieutenant McNeilis was performing his walk around to determine the location and extent of the fire, firefighter Talaski deployed a hose line and to the building entrance, waiting for the next company to arrive to help with the attack on the fire. Firefighter Talaski then single-handedly deployed a 20-foot extension ladder to the 3rd floor balcony to assist the occupants of the 3rd floor until to evacuate the building. Lieutenant McNeilis then entered the building by himself, waiting on the 2nd crew to determine if the fire extended into the hallway was met with very heavy smoky conditions. Once Truck 2014 arrived on the scene, firefighter Davies entered the building with McNeilis to attack the fire in the 2nd floor unit, the west side. The fire was contained to the unit. The crew of Ambulance 2032 consisted of firefighters Strand and Rummery. They were assigned to the search unit on the east side of the 2nd floor. During their search, they found an occupant and removed him from the unit. Fortunately, no one required transport to the hospital. For these reasons, McNeilis and Talaski will receive the firefighters unit citation, and firefighters Strand and Rummery will receive the Medal of Honor citation. This is the first time in the history of awarding commendations that we had 3 incidences in 1 week. That was worthy of multiple commendations. On October 5th, the crew also treated a trauma patient from a vehicle accident and responded to 18 calls during a 24-hour shift. On Tuesday, the 4th, the shift responded to 12 incidences, including a structure fire in Robbins. For whatever reason, this week was uncommonly busy, plus with multiple unusual incidences in a short period of time. Our firefighters are very dedicated and perform well under extreme pressure and extenuating circumstances. I want to thank them all for their hard work and protecting the community. Chief Sosinski. That was a lot to read, but wow, unbelievable.
Well done, Chief.
Very well.
Certainly extend our thanks to the men and stuff, or the personnel, I should say. Right.
Second, I have the approval of a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement for participation in the mutual aid box alarm systems. This agreement was was being reviewed by the village attorney. And finally, I have approval of an updated agreement with Fox Valley and Keltron Service and price increase as discussed in the September 26th during the fire committee meeting. And that's all I have, sir.
Very good, thank you. Again, great job, Chief. Like you said, it's worthy of bringing that up. That doesn't happen too often, and, so, thank you. So we'll move to the next report for Police and Traffic Safety. Trustee Dalzell.
The presentation and approval of the October 2022 Police Department Monthly Activity Report, and the Police Department recently received a plaque from Lexipol Policy Management for obtaining the gold standard in policy management and implementation for 2021. This is the second year in a row that the Police Department has obtained the gold standard. Anything further on that, Chief?
No, thank you.
That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Chief, we got a lot of students here tonight. Can you tell them what the Lexipol is real quick, too?
Lexipol is a company or software that we pay for to implement the best practices. It keeps us up to date on what's going on in the courts. Every day there's new rulings that affect the way we police and the things that we can and can't do. So this company is in charge of distributing new policies based upon case law, and what they do is they provide them to us. We review them, we sign off on them, and then we have the officers do scenario-based training on those policies. They keep track of all of that stuff for us, all the training and everything like that. So they also keep track of the time from when it's implemented in your department to when everybody completes the training.
Okay.
So that's what the standards are based on.
And again, I think the way it was explained to me before, too, is if and when they have any kind of downtime, they're in a squad car doing this, right, on the computer?
Correct. Usually at the start of their shift, they'll log in and see if there's any updates that they need to go through before they head out for the day.
So the policy, the computer will actually give them situational decision-making, and based on new policies that our government appropriates for the police department, the officers are making our decision-making, and then the command staff can evaluate their decision-making at the same time then, too, right?
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks, Chief. Trustee Dalzell, anything else?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have Public Work and Boat Launch Committee.
No report.
Mike, boat launch is closed now, right? Yes. Okay. And we need to talk to Sherman about the scanning project yet, too, right? Okay. Next, thank you. Next, we had Sewer and Water Report. Trustee Navas Barza.
Thank you. I have no items to be voted on this evening.
All right. Thank you. Next, we have the Building and Health Report. Trustee Parada.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan, and good evening, everybody. First on the agenda, I have a presentation and a request for approval of the Building Department October 2022 Monthly Activity Report. And the October report for the Building Department consists of 92 permits issued. The amount collected, including inspector fees, was $27,053. The estimated cost of construction is valued at $3,281,355. It must be that time of year because 1/3 of that came from new siding and windows for residential. Next, I have a presentation and approval of the Health Department October 2022 Monthly Activity Report. In that report, there were 21 complaints, 48 citations. Third, I have a presentation and approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 6, Section Occupancy and Engineering Fees, Section 6-899698 100 101 103 107, Chapter 17, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Property, Article 1, in general, Section 17-5.5, Chapter 20, Water and Sewers, Article 4, Sewer System, Section 20-70-1, and Article 5, Water System, Section 20-105 of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. And that concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. And what that really means, folks, is that these are, this identifies with our building permit cost, and many of these permits haven't been adjusted in almost 15 years. As a courtesy of the village, we've kept our costs down. We maintain them as long as we can, as long as we could, and marginally, we adjusted those costs. That's after 15 years. We had to make an adjustment yet, too. So, thank you. Next, we have the Human Resource and Insurance Committee. Trustee Murphy.
I have approval of property casualty insurance change in rates renewal date 12/1/22. And secondly, I have the request for a consensus asking the village board if they wish to pursue a third-party workman's compensation oversight agency to monitor all village workman compensation claims.
So, just very quickly, we'll talk about these. Number one, Joyce, did you have a comment on number one?
I put in the trustees' boxes tonight, I got some updated information from Tony Evans today concerning property insurance. Excuse me. He gave us some options to insure heritage apartments at actual cash value. Not recommended, but it is an option. It would save $127,009, but basically we would be insuring the buildings for a value that we have on the books less depreciation. So you would not actually have a replacement cost. The other thing that he had an option for was to reduce our excess limits coverage, excess liability, from $15 million an occurrence to $10 million. And that would save $26,000 on the premium. So there's a way to shave it down, but don't know that it's recommended to do that. He did want me to mention that ICRMT does provide regular liability to Heritage. It's a part of the package. So those things are usually costed out separately. The renewal property premium is just for property is $276,830 for a year. The premium for the property premium without Heritage, just the village properties, is only $63,000 of that, $63,787. So Heritage is a considerable portion of that premium. There is other insurance, of course, involved in that premium. The premium they're proposing right now is $696,941, but that includes not only property, it includes law enforcement, the public entity package, crime, automobile, cyber, excess liability. I want to say inland marine is equipment.
Or local, right?
So that's the total premium is $696,000. If we go with the Heritage Apartments at actual cash value, it would reduce the premium to $569,933.
So that's, long story short, the difference in cost from what we were paying to what the adjustment is $127,000. And the adjustment being because they've reevaluated the Heritage Apartments that the village owns. And again, just for everybody in the audience, the village owns 30 buildings with 515 apartments. And after reviewing the asset,
the appraisal of the
the appraisal of our assets,
cost,
they're saying that those buildings are undervalued right now, and if we took actual cash value to what they are right now, in the event of any type of catastrophe, we're only getting the cash value, we're not getting the replacement value, and the replacement value is $127,000 more.
Correct.
So, in this instance, and because we're so close to a renewal date, we don't really have the ability to shop this insurance.
That's correct.
And, again, this was brought to us just last week, and so forth yet, too. So, I mean...
2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah, so. So that's what the board is being asked to have approved. And again, for the benefit of everybody in the room, when it comes to the Heritage Apartments, that is a segregated budget. In other words, that's a separate budget from what regular taxpayers here pay. That money stays in those subdivisions over there. That's not part of everyday bills here. So that does not affect our regular bills here. Okay?
Correct.
All right. And then number 2, I wanted to, any comment on that, trustees? And then number 2 that was on here was the consensus. What I wanted to go back and ask, Fire Chief Stasinski and I were talking about this recently, too. Did we want to pursue presentations and whatnot from a third-party contractor to oversee workman comp claims? And that's what I wanted to ask the board. This is a policy decision. I mean, I don't mind bringing them in, but does the board, I was going to ask for a consensus if the board wants to pursue that, bringing in a third party to oversee workman comp claims.
I don't think it would hurt. If we can get people back to work quicker, that does nothing but help us.
Okay. Trustee McLaurin?
I can go either way. I would like to, just have the HR manager work on it and come back to us with a recommendation. I don't think we need to be bringing in people for presentations until he's had an opportunity to do an evaluation.
It's a policy, and that's what I'm asking you folks and stuff then, too. So, go ahead.
Well, I agree with Trustee McLaughlin. I mean, the HR manager, what's their recommendation in regards to this? And I know I missed the previous board meeting. Was this brought up for discussion then in regards to?
No.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, I would want to understand what opinion the HR manager has regarding this.
Okay. Trustee Dolzell?
I agree with them. I'd like to find out what his consideration is. Also, what is...
Well, how about then, I'll have Tony Fasano, our HR manager, I'll have Tony attend our next committee meeting, and we could talk at large with him.
Because the other thing that I want to make sure that we address is light duty.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I'll ask Tony to come, and he'll have all the bullet points and everything ready next week.
So I think there's a couple tools in that toolbox that we can utilize, too.
Okay. All right, thanks. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're not going to take a consensus, but I'll have the HR manager here next week. And then we'll go to the next report, would be Special Committee Reports, Economic Development, and Trustee Nava Esparza.
Thank you. I just have 3 items just to provide comment on. The first being the proposed development project on 120th and Hamlin. Just for the sake of transparency, I was present at both Plan Commission meetings, and as the gentleman that made public comment mentioned, residents were very vocal in regards to they were not in favor of the proposed development. Given the scale, and they did, the developer provided a revised plan. They did bring down the development project from 3 floors or stories to 2, and then it would be 25 apartment units. And I know that residents approached me after both meetings, and I did mention to them, as you've recapped, Mayor Ryan, the next steps regarding that proposed development. And then in regards to the second item, it's about next site, just an update. I know that I was not in favor of the village entering into a contract with next site, and I don't think that it's been somewhat fruitful, continuing to pay them if they haven't recruited a business for us. So just requesting an update regarding that. And then the third item would be Fire Water, or the barbecue restaurant on 117th Pulaski. Residents have asked me again regards to the progress and the status of that development, as well as the parcel south of, which is owned by TBK. So I just wanted to make that public statement, and also since residents do view these meetings, so that way they can reference the videos and understand what's what's happening with those projects on Pulaski.
Well, the 120th speaks for itself, 120th and Hamlin, but the next site I had you copied on,
Correct.
and I'm challenging their reports right now. They are, in their contract, they are allowed a 30-day cure for anything that we may want to find them in default of. So right now, I'm communicating with them today. I was exchanging emails with them. I want to find out what their cure is going to be. So we haven't remitted any more monies to them yet. We'll wait and find out. And then as far as Firewater goes, that's the new building going up on 116th and Pulaski. I actually shared something with Attorney Joe Kankar the other day, and they're actually they're talking like trying to open by the end of the month, Roger, right?
Honestly, I don't see them making that feat.
Okay. I know he's going. Yeah, he's going
A
hard.
little bit more progress going on, but to be open by the end of the week,
No, month.
I don't foresee that happening unless they were to get an army of
Yeah.
carpenters in there.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, I shared it with Joe, and he was talking to us about everything, and it was part of the redevelopment agreement, so I told him, read the redevelopment agreement again, as far as some of the requests he had on his side, but he said, he goes, man, I'd love to be open by the end of the month, but like you said, if it's a few more weeks, he's coming down the finish line pretty soon.
Porcelain concrete last week, they are looking to put the binding surface down and then top surface before the 15th of this month. This way it will be asphalted. TVK, I did receive full sets of prints. They were authorized and accepted by us. They did send finals last week. They have not picked up permits at this point, but they do have fencing up, and they are looking hopefully to have footings and foundation hopefully before winter hits. This way they can get a structure up and be under roof before the cold weather hits.
Right. And Attorney Gary Perlman and I have been working on this diligently, been looping everybody in on it too, just with our attorneys and stuff. But it just, we've been patient. We understand there's peak costs for materials and all that kind of stuff, but they're finally starting to come through with this kind of thing now too. Okay.
And that's all I had.
All right, thank you. We'll go to our village property report. Trustee McGlohan.
No report this evening, Mayor.
All right. Next, ordinance legislation. Trustee Peretta.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan.
Oh,
I have a request for approval to renew the 6B tax incentive for Dalbert and Cromwell at 12701 South Ridgeway, Alsip, Illinois. And that's all I have, sir.
I apologize. I missed this when I was reviewing our, we're not ready for this yet. We want to review the upcoming tax bills and so forth. I got that from our attorney, Vince Kankar. So I'd like to pull that from the agenda until we get clarification from Vince Kankar on this side too. So that's letter L. Sorry about that, Trustee Peretta. My bad.
That's okay.
I missed that one. Next, we have the Planning and Zoning and Licenses Committee.
I have a request for approval of a list of licenses dated October 10th, 2022 through October 21st of 2022. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Under presentations, petitions, and communications, I just want to make a quick note, just to ask everyone, excuse me, to please support local businesses impacted by the state-authorized construction at 127th and Route 83 as they're struggling because the excuse me, the motorists are intimidated by the multitude of barricades at that location. Basically, we put out an email on both our website and Facebook last week. Everything from Nick's Barbecue, a Country House, Speedway gas station, Sakura, and like Athens Euros, everything along. They're losing 50% of their business right now because it's so intimidating. People will not go through all those barricades to get at their stores and so forth. So if you could please, if you can patronize those businesses, that'd really be great. It's at no fault of their own. The state is doing some major reconstruction there, and they're obviously being impacted. We get calls every week from those businesses. So please help them if you can. Also, I spoke over the weekend again, Chief Szynski with firefighter paramedic Romery. Dan's been trying to rehab an antique fire engine and he's looking for a place to park it in the off-season. So if anyone knows of a facility or a garage that they can tuck this antique fire truck into, we're trying to get a donation to, in a facility, to stick an antique truck in there just for the off-season until firefighter Rummery can get back on it. Right now, it's sitting behind Eastwood Automotive, and obviously it's got to get moved from there for the winter, and he wants to preserve all the hard work he's doing on that thing right now. So if anybody has any suggestions, please let me know. Anybody else have any comments or petitions and so forth, communications? All right, thank you. Can I get a motion then to establish a consent agenda? Oh, I'm sorry, did anyone want to remove anything from consent agenda first? No? Can I get a motion then to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish consent agenda, trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion then to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved. No. Second.
Trustee Peretta, was that you that said that?
No.
It was trustee Dalzell.
Oh, okay. You were very quiet that time. Okay, before we do roll call, item H, a resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement for participation in the mutual aid box alarm system. Master Agreement 2022 will now be known as Resolution 2022-11-R-1. Item J, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 6 Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 5, Permit, Inspection, Occupancy, and Engineering Fees, Section 6-89 through 96, 6-98, 6-100, 6-101, 6-103 through 107, Chapter 17, Streets, Sidewalks, and Other Property, Article 1 in general, Section 17-5.5, Chapter 20, Water and Sewers, Article 4, Sewer System, Section 20-70-1, and Article 5, Water System, Section 20-105 of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip will now be known as Ordinance 2022-11-1. Roll call number 2 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez Mendoza is absent. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
All right, thank you. Did anyone have any unfinished business? Any new business? All right, can I get a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We're going to adjourn this meeting at 8:33 p.m. If any of the students, anybody needs a signature or anything on your agenda to demonstrate you're here at the meeting, any of the trustees can do that for you too. So please come on up and enjoy the rest of your night.